from the spot.
And I'm Ron, of course.
And tonight we had the pleasure of speaking to Eden MarryShow. He is the actor and director of Can You Stand the Rain? And it's a film that screened at the Martha's Vineyard 23rd African American Film Festival and the American Black Film Festival and many others. We had an awesome conversation. I can't wait for you guys to check it out.
And please, when he comes to our area, it's a must-see. I'm Ron Johnson. I'm one of the cohorts of the Thought Real Talk. And Tiffany and I have known each other probably for close to 25 years or so.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. We're missing Tierra, but it's usually three of us. And, I had the pleasure of meeting you at the Martha's Vineyard Film Festival. It was amazing. I got a chance to see your film screen there, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great night. Yeah.
I want to ask you,
okay,
because my family and friends that saw the movie, they they are JaVale Ellis fans.
It's my guy.
and they wanted to know, like, they're not just of him, but his family, period. They want to know how they got attached to your film. How did that happen?
Well, DeVal and I, we did a film called Full Circle. And and some years back, I think it might have been his first feature film, and our boy Slick directed it, and that's how we met. It was like, we were trying to get on, and just like we're both blessed to be part of a dope project. And then DeVal, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and so is DeVal. He does get it, and DeVal's the very best of like when you think about what a Brooklyn human being is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. He's a man of his word. He's a man of integrity. He never got Hollywood. So what happened was, I wrote this film. I wrote this thing called Love. I guess we get into it later or whatever. But my brother passed away, and I wanted to make a love note to him. Mm. And I was like, my brother, he was the best. He was like, he's the world ambassador of dreams. And I was like, who would Shy be excited about playing him, or like, a version of him? And what I did was I wrote the script, and then a friend of mine named Lawrence Ballard, who's an amazing actor, he filled in for the Sean piece. Cause I was like, if I get a named person or somebody that the public knows, it will lift the cachet of the film. And it's a lot easier. It's really difficult when you write a screenplay and then you're like, oh, so-and-so's attached, and then you need to get a person attached, and then it takes forever to make it. I was like, let me make this movie, have one of my friends like plug in, and then when I finish it, just kind of reach out to folks and say, hey, would you mind, would you like to jump on this project? And then the more I thought about it, I was like, oh, wait a minute, DeVal, like, he's perfect. And it was also important that, and it might be perceptible or not, but like I wanted that person to be very Brooklyn. So then we got accepted at ABFF, and DeVal's doing 1,000,001 things, and then he just like got back to me. He was like, if you can get out here. It was a Monday. He was getting ready to jump back on his Tyler Perry shows on can y'all hear all that craziness in the back?
It was ever so slight, so it was cool.
Oh, okay. So he said if you can get out here, we can shoot on Thursday and Friday.
Wow. So
I hopped in my minivan and drove out to Atlanta, and then we shot all of his stuff in probably, honestly, like in real hours, like 3.5 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
4 hours, maybe 5. Yeah, it was like, because we literally like, he's the man. Like we were literally like pulling him from other things and like grabbing stuff, So that's how DeVal became a part of it. And then we needed a kid. And I was like, I wrote this thing, and I was like, and he's like, I think my son could do it. And I was like, oh, all right, bet. It's just like,
he did a good job.
He did a great job, right? And I was like, oh, there's actually serves the story even more.
More.
Um,
In
so
fact,
so that's how the
yeah.
value part
In
of it.
fact, the and I'm a film guy too. I do film. I've done quite a few shorts,
Amazing.
and so I always like to talk to people like you, get ideas, and
Yeah.
it's just encourage me at more than anything. But speaking of character development,
Yes.
can you elaborate on the process in developing your characters? And my biggest question would be, um, is there any real life experiences here in your movie?
Well, yeah, I mean, that was one, it's just like, there's definitely like real life experiences in there, without a doubt. Whether it's like, a friend of your, the people that have been close to you that have gone through a stillbirth.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like that's something that's never talked about. And then, the few family members and friends, like great friends I know have gone through that. Like there's no playbook. Nobody talks about it. So definitely that. I mean, I definitely have friends who I've known since I was a puppy who I'm just like, we all know. Like just come on out now. It's okay. We you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we love you. And you know what I mean? It'll be all right. Which is easy for me to say because I'm not in that body and I didn't. But it's like you're not doing a good job. You were never doing a good job
And I
at.
can also feel the emotional aspects of Dee losing her husband, and
Mm,
probably came a lot from you losing your brother. So
that's a great point. I don't even think I thought it through like that. But yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, 100%. And when it comes to the character development, for me, I it's gonna sound like I don't know, whatever, but I wrote the draft in like 6 weeks, and then but I was trying to. So basically, my brother was always getting mad at me because he was always like, "Yo, you take too much time with this." It's like, "Yo, you just need to like." He's like, "Yo, you just
Just
need
need
to
to
do
do
it."
it.
Yeah, you just need to do it, and it's like you need to do it like when we were younger, blah 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 blah. So I was trying to make it in his spirit.
okay.
So I was like,
Mhm.
"All right, man, I'm just gonna write this thing. There's gonna be no pressure." But the one kind of wild card or the joker I had in my pocket was that I had really great actors and creators. So all
Yeah.
the actors in the film pretty much are creators. And one thing I hate as a director, as an actor, is when you get a script, you're working on this thing, you could be working on it for weeks, months, whatever it is. Then you get into the space and then you do your version of it, and the director's like, no, 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 stick. This is what I want. And I feel like I think there's a lot of ego attached to that.
Mhm.
And for me, it's like, no, you've been with that character for longer than I have. You're going to be able to share stuff about that person that I don't know.
Mhm.
So that I also think it was a large part of the character development. It was just like listening to the actors, and then specifically when women are saying something to you, and you're like, "Oh, okay, want to go like that? Oh, okay. How does this sound?" Instead of being like, "Nah, that's my story. I know what I'm trying to do." It's like, no, bro. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is the truth.
Exactly. Thank you.
Mhm.
So and then I think that's probably the third part was just like, okay, is this truthful?
Yeah.
Is this and yeah, that was the gauge, and just to listen to people around me.
Mhm. Excellent.
you know
I gotta tell you that they were all good. Ensemble cast, they killed it.
what?
And I hope you don't mind me saying this, but when I saw the movie, I said this to my family and my friends. I was like, it kind of reminded me of like The Best
Best
Man.
man.
There again.
It kind of reminded me of The Best Man because of the
Yeah,
cast, because everybody had these the different relationships and the different issues and stuff, and everybody had, their own storylines and everything outside of Sean. And
yes.
so I was like, this reminds me of The Best Man.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I mean that was very intentional. Um, I feel like we grew up when I feel like if there was I feel like we're all like when we grew up, there were black shows all over the place. There's a whole night dedicated to, and I know the media landscape is different now, but yo, you had In Living Color, Martin, Rock,
Mm-hmm.
Living Single. You could just
Mm-hmm.
go through it. You know what I mean? Yeah, the CW and all of those shows, Wayne's Brothers, all this stuff, Parenthood, and for me, I missed those times. I
Mhm.
feel like the stuff that would, I'm not gonna say that the stuff that a lot of things that are allowed to get made now
Mm-hmm.
are just lack joy and lack hope. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think you could have a fundamentally black story without hope. It's something I talk to a lot of folks about, have a lot of discussions with, this theater or film. So I'm like, that was the golden age of cinema, like say black
Mm-hmm.
cinema, whatever you want to call it. And it's like, it's just gotten worse.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make, it actually doesn't, it doesn't make sense. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, it was like, for me, I was like, I wanted to, this is a thing, this is a film, I guess, very much about nostalgia and reconnection and memory. So part of that, I think on a meta level was, yeah, plugging into the best man. It was very much to me like the best man meets the big chill.
Mm-hmm.
And those two movies and probably where I'm at in my life right now. Yeah, so and it's also something to be said about like when you actually have an intention.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like intentionally like none of the storylines are necessarily the best man, right? But it's just like
Right.
that feeling was
Mm-hmm.
always like in my heart and in my mind. So I'm grateful, like when you say something like that, I'm like, yeah, that was completely intentional.
Yeah, I was thinking it, and I was like, I was like, I hope he doesn't get offended
Oh,
when I say
absolutely.
that. But that's what it made me feel like, especially with
Yeah,
the song too. Can you stand the rain? Because
yeah,
that's also nostalgic.
yeah. That's also from.
Well,
And somebody told me that Can You Stand the Rain was actually in The Best Man too, or something like that. I
They
never watched.
did. They
I
they
never watched it. I
hmm.
never watched it because I heard one of them died, and I was like, I'm not.
that's what, and that's the other thing
I
that
was
made
like,
me
I'm
think of,
not.
because the friends kind of come together because you
Oh,
know
because somebody's passing. That's crazy.
yeah, they
But for
come
me, like,
together. But in yours, Sean is already passed, and that
yeah,
was one of the things I know I asked you at the
mm,
Vineyard in your talk back, and I'm asking again for the benefit of our audience,
mm,
because the movie Can You Stand the Rain, it never tells you how Sean died. It just says he died suddenly, and you
mm,
answered me then. But for the benefit of our audience, I want you
right.
to
Well, I was
say like why, how did Sean die?
that was my question, one of my questions,
I'm
Yeah.
Tiffany.
sorry.
But no, it's okay. But I wanted to also make a point about what you just said and what Tiffany said about best man. It's like a recipe. Uh, if you and I both can make some knockout biscuits, okay?
Yeah.
But yours might be better because of the seasoning that you put in. You may
Mm,
put something in it that's a little different than what I put in mine.
mm,
While the biscuits may look the same or have some sort of similarity,
mm,
yours tastes better because of what you put in it. And I think
mm,
that's what we get with your movie, even though it may have some uh, likeness
mm,
of Best Man. But I enjoyed particularly how you expressed the conflicts, and how it came together and the end. And
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
people who are watching, listening to us, and when you do get a chance to see this movie, you really want to pay attention to that because the way you bring the end together is just fantastic. I'm telling you, as a bro,
I appreciate that,
I had a
brother.
tear in my eye,
That's amazing.
and I don't want to have to, admit all that. But I do have to say, I had a little tear in my eye, man, and I got this feeling of warmth. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And when that feeling came over me, I felt the brotherhood. I felt the friendship. I felt everything that this movie was really trying to say. So
I
you did
appreciate it.
no, man, you did a fantastic job with that.
I appreciate that. And again, yeah, that's a great way to describe what we're going for, like the warmth. And it's hard, like grief is hard.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a lot. And at the end of the day, I'm hoping that it is like a ritual for grief. Like you can watch it more than once.
Hmm.
I lost my brother and my mother in like the process of a year.
Wow.
And I've probably been to way too many funerals that somebody my age should be but I think one of the gifts that comes with that is just like I've had to deal with it. And that was my hope. It was just like, like this. When you're at a funeral, man, you laugh at the most inappropriate, like, because the tone of the film shifts a lot, and that was also trying to mimic just like what happens at a funeral. It's like, it's not all everybody's crying. Like sometimes you're laughing hysterically when you shouldn't be laughing. You can get in trouble, and you're like, but I just can't. You're around your friend circle for the first time in forever, and you're all like 8 or 9 years old again. I appreciate that, and then I never said it was very intentional to not say how Sean died because I didn't think it mattered.
Right.
Because I wanted to also give the audience the opportunity to latch on to whoever they lost and kind of put them in the place of Sean. So my brother passed away from a right coronary, right? And it was very sudden and nobody had any idea. And we found out like 5 days after he passed. It's a crazy story, but like for me, I went back and forth with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, no, I think for me, it was more important that the audience could possibly see somebody they lost in Sean and kind of attach that. It's like reading a book.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Because like you, I've lost a lot and things. So I was able to assign a Sean to my loved one.
That's all. Yeah. I hate to say that's awesome, but it is awesome.
No, it is.
You know,
Very healing. And that's what I got from your movie. Can I ask though,
please.
as far as filming locations, the choice of filming, was that intentional? How much a part of the story atmosphere was dedicated to that?
So basically, we were house sitting. My wife and I, Sesa, were house sitting for our really great friends, Lisa, who ended up being the executive producer on the project, and Blake, her husband. And as we were staying there, and we're like this massive house, I'm like, I think I should write this movie. And so it was literally like, okay, we got all of these rooms, and because this, as a filmmaker too, especially when you're doing a feature, right? You have to change locations, you have to make it feel like you're taking the audience somewhere. And I was just like, there's a lot of rooms in here, man. And sometimes you got to like redecorate something and make it 2 rooms, whatever it is. But so it very, very much was instrumental. So I wrote, and I feel like there's any independent filmmakers out there, like that's rule number 1. Like if you're gonna write a film that you're gonna make, don't put spaceships in it, man. Not yet.
Well, I always say that for film, it's location, location, location.
Yes.
Just like buying a home, location,
Yep.
location.
Yep. And our great DP, Juan Carlos Barrero, who wasn't just a DP, he was a gaffer, grip. He did a million jobs. Like that's what he's always saying. He's just like, give me some nice locations, I'll make it look nice.
Absolutely.
You had a million jobs.
Huh?
I saw when I watched that movie in the credits, I was like, he's acting in it. It was like everything. I was just, man, he did everything. He did everything in this movie. It's amazing.
Again, I had a lot of help. Yes, I had a lot of jobs. But the one thing I did was I planned everything out as much as I could. So like I had like must be like 400 or 500 pages of notes. And there was this really on the Godfather Blu-ray DVD back in the days, Francis Ford Coppola he had this segment where he walked you through his Godfather book and all the notes he took and how he took them. And it was and he broke it down by like the imagery, what's the core of this scene? So like literally like if you could break the scene down to one line or one word, what is everything about? And then there was like, thoughts, audio, sound, music wise, what are you thinking for this scene? And then on the bottom, which I think is the biggest one, is the pitfalls. So like what can go wrong with this scene while you're on set? So
Wow.
that's what I did. I did that for every scene. And then, you do a shot list or you do a floor plan so that when you're on set and when you're acting, you don't really have to think. You could just go back. You can go back to your notes, and you have to be thoroughly prepared when it's just because like behind the scene, like behind the camera, it was Juan who was doing 50 things. Then Johnny Bermudez, who plays Raul, who plays the I guess the
Yeah, I want to knock Raul out.
exactly. So Johnny was like doing B camera stuff. He did all the drone stuff. And then I was back there directing, holding light, we all doing what we had to do. But yeah, it was it's easy, like when you're prepared and you having like nights where you're getting like 2, 3, 4 hours sleep, whatever it is, it's just like you're still doing what you love to do. And you still know it's for a finite period of time. But for me, it was like, having that document, having that book with literally everything. And the first page is just like a picture of my brother's face. And it's just like, you got to remember what you're doing it for. And the other thing that I would always do is I would always write, like, I felt the film was about reconnection. So on every page, you write reconnection. I think Scorsese does that. And it's just a reminder so you don't get off track. So then when it comes time, like when you're editing or even you're shooting something, you're just like, oh, that's not going to move the story. Does this connect to reconnection?
Right.
If it doesn't, like, it's got to go by the wayside. So yeah. And I'm also like, I think my parents like built me to do this stuff because I grew up watching my dad, put on theater stuff, like rehearsing in the basement and then going into the city. He's an educator. He still is. And my mother, they would do dinner theater and stuff. So like I grew up around that, and there was an example of like what it would take to make something independently from the system.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely well done. I know. I always wanted the brothers, the rich brother with the Ferrari. I forgot his name.
Barry, in the movie.
Barry was tripping. I was wondering how he got that way, especially since Big Bro took good care of him and sacrificed his career to take care of him. So I was wondering, I was like, how did he become such a jerk? He turned around at the end. He came around, like you said, it was, reunion. But I was just like, what was his deal? Like, what made him that way? Like, why did he?
I think humans are just so self-unaware. And it's just like, I know people like that kind of where it's just like and it's also a product of being an American, right? Like we all like to fancy ourselves all these different things, but at the end of the day, we're Americans. And there's something that happens sometimes, I think, this kind of like rugged individualism that's kind of pounded on us. And this is how we're told how we're supposed to live our lives with. You really will catch yourself outside of your mind thinking that you did this thing by yourself. Like, and the Jeff character was played by Jamie Lincoln Smith, my boy, and of course Devin Hack. He doesn't talk much. He just kind of he just does what he has to do to keep his promise to his mother and his father, to make sure that his brother's all right. And I think part of it is he lost his parents so young. So he's grabbing at straws as well, and you're also dealing with the fact that his big brother's always propping him up, saying that he's this great. There's an Easter, it's not an Easter egg, but even in the beginning, and hopefully the film is something that you could watch over and over again and get something else from it. But like when you watch the you on the second or third viewing of the film, you watch it, you see like he has a picture of his brother hanging up,
Yeah.
on his
Yeah.
desk. It's like it was his whole life. So I think I've known a few people like that it's just like they get big time, and then they just like they want to forget about where they're from. All those things, which is hard. It's hard for most people, I think.
It was so hard to see him like talk that way
Crazy
to his brother. No, then when you heard the backstory that he gave up his dream, and then he was kind of referring to his brother like he was a loser, like because you had these things and stuff, and I just was like, it was really disrespectful.
But it was, but that's what really brought out the realistic value of it. Because if you can imagine growing up with an older brother, and then you become the younger brother, becomes very successful. And all the hopes and desires and aspirations that you had of your big brother, he becomes a janitor of some sort, and he doesn't realize his dream, or possibly he didn't realize the dream you had for him. So the animosity kind of comes in, and this is what I got. It stirred up the anguish that Barry had with G, to the point that, like you said, a couple of times I wanted to put my hand through my television screen and smack Barry upside the head and say, "Bro, what's going on here?"
That's awesome.
But that's what I felt. That's what I mean when I talk about some of the feelings and the warmth, but yet you were able to mix very well anguish and love almost simultaneously happening. And that may not make sense to a person who hasn't seen it, but trust me, when you do, you will feel the love and the hate all at the same time.
And I like the way there was resolution for each of the characters at the end, because Barry came around. He did come around and start respecting his brother. I did,
That's after he lost that
the girl
Ferrari.
Audrey made me want to pop her too, because I didn't like the way she was sunning Lisa, and making her feel like she was
Not good enough.
less than because she didn't have children and everything. And that was really relatable too, because I think a lot of people can relate to folks trying to tell you how your dream should be, or how your life should be, and you should be married with kids and this, that, and the other. And I think I was so glad when she popped off on her and was like, look, and then I was glad when Audrey got it together and decided to put her husband first. Like, she said, F them kids. Like, come on now. They fine. They all right. They all right. We need some me time.
But I also believe Audrey was living rather vicariously through Lisa, being free. And I think with Audrey's problems that she had in her relationship kind of spilled over to Lisa. Not as much as I didn't feel the hate of Audrey, but I think that when Audrey actually, because when they came together after that almost fight, and I'm glad they didn't fight because Lisa would have, that would not have been a good fight. I didn't like that at all.
Audrey was taking her earrings off.
You need to put the earrings back on. Have a seat. That wasn't going to happen. But yeah, I think it was just a little bit of that because of her husband who wanted his what back, and there again lies the reality of life, man. I don't, marriage is a wonderful thing. It has its moments, and if you can't live through them and get past them, this is why divorce is so high. But your show, Can You Stand the Rain, is just, and I watched it twice. I did. The first time I saw it was late night, and what I felt initially was just this kind of a rush of emotions, and I couldn't separate them. So I was saying to Tiffany, I said, "This seems like a good show, but I got to watch it again." But then the second time I watched it, it was like a flower blooming. I couldn't have. In fact, I'll tell you what my wife said. She said, "Is this the same show we watched the other night?" I said, "Yes, it's the same show." Because we had a chance. It's like seasoning, man. I mean, if you season meat the day before and then you cook that, man. I mean, this is what was going on, man. I'm over. I'm overwhelmed.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Again, like it's just very. I guess you're supposed to validate yourself, but it's validating to hear that because like I mean when I was up super late at night editing and working on it, it was like and then my boy Frank came on eventually and we finished it out together. But that was the thing. It was just like I just hope that people want to watch it again
Mm-hmm.
and take other things from it. Like I think where we're at with like my mother, I realized after she passed, like she always ended most conversations saying, and that's the story.
Hmm.
Like, and that's the story. And
Mm.
I always wondered, I was like, why do I care about stories so much? And part of it is that. And then at a talk back, my cousin said the other day that when I was really little, that my mom used to have me, I would just go off in a corner and just like create worlds. And I think where most parents would try to bring their kid back in, she would always be like, just let Eden do what he's doing. And she would encourage me. And then my dad put a notebook in my hand when I was super small, probably barely could write. And he was like, Eden, you have to
Mm.
write these things down.
Hmm.
So I look at that and I know that that's one of the reasons why I love story. And I just feel like it's what allowed human beings to be where we're at. It's a way to keep like stories are the only thing that keep culture together.
Yes.
Myths are the only thing that keep culture together. They're very important to us and for us. So when I see a lot of things today, and I'm not saying that what I made is the greatest thing ever or whatever, but I know that, and again, we made the film for $20,000.
Wow.
We didn't have much money,
Mhm.
but I know that every moment of that thing was thought through. Like it might be the wrong thought, you know what I'm saying? But like it was like it was thought through specifically, when you were talking about that moment when you get the backstory and you find out that like Jeff has been around for his brother this whole time. There was another scene that I had cut down severely that lost some of that, and then we screened it for some friends, and it was
Mhm.
and this is the thing, like yo, when you get a note like two, three, four times, like yo, just listen.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
it might be the different variation of the note, and like your job as the creator might be like, okay, how do I distill all like how does this all relate? Like there's clearly something off, and maybe that person doesn't in this moment know, and they're saying something else, but something's off.
Mhm.
So what I noticed was that scene wasn't in there, and it finally hit me. I was like, every character has a beginning, middle, and end, and these
Mhm.
brothers just have a middle and end.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And I had kind of trimmed all the fat off of like giving some of their their backstory. And then my wife Cesa, who's in that scene, she was like, "Yo, I could show up." Like it really was just again like you just being open for creativity. Like
Mhm.
it was like originally we wanted Donna to be there, but it was
Mhm.
hard to set up
Mhm.
because we were just like I was like, what's the easiest thing to do in a shortest period of time? I was like, okay, I got you as an actor, and I'm like, oh, and then we could also get some of your backstory
Mhm.
about the miscarriage, whatever happens, and it just like magically came together.
Hmm.
But like that magic doesn't happen if you don't listen,
Mhm. Mhm.
I like
and you get people around you that you trust. I had a TV director, like a TV writer who was really successful one time tell me, he was just like, you surround yourself with people that are going to help you tell the story you want to tell and not the story they want to tell.
exactly.
So you can surround yourself with people that like know your whatever your aesthetic is, or maybe you don't have one, and are just like understand the story you're trying to tell. Like they're not trying to come for you;
Right.
Mhm.
they want
Mhm.
to see you win.
Mhm. 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 Well,
Yeah.
did you go? Didn't you guys go to the Bronze Lens Festival? Were
We
y'all
did
there?
the bronze lens, yes, it was
How
great.
was that? Well, how was the reception?
It was great. It honestly, like with every audience, is ABFF, Martha's Vineyard, Bronze Lens. We're gonna be closing out the Greater Cleveland in a couple weeks. It's just been overwhelmingly positive, and the talkbacks, like you really had one of the only actual questions, Tiffany, in the talkback, because I feel like most people are just talking about what the film meant to them,
Yeah.
or or they talk about a loved one that's passed and the grief of that processing it through the film, or like, oh, this reminds me of The Best Man, or like reminds me of the movies that how come we don't have movies like that anymore? The kind of, I think another thing that comes up, and it goes both ways, because one of my homegirls was like, I didn't realize it, but this is actually like a female driven piece. Like, it's really about the women. But then my other homegirl was like, nah, I was in that talk back and hear the men. She's like, I've never heard men talk that vulnerably and sensitively before. And like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, so now that's been the reception, like writ large. Yeah.
That's the whole pie.
That's the whole pie.
I'm
sorry.
The whole, what I got was resilience, and the theme was about resilience. What I enjoyed.
Write that down. I'm listening. I'm listening.
And here's the thing. Oh God, how can I need to say what I have to say, but I don't want to draw this out, but I want you to really understand. Sean's dream was really accomplished in his death. And I love it at the end when little Sean asked, did you accomplish your dream? And that's when it hit me, particularly the second time. I said, wow, it was the way he answered the question. Very solemn, but it had a lot of emotion with almost not many words, but he said yes. And it's in his death that he accomplished that. And he accomplished his actual dream was for his family and friends to come together in truth and love. And this is what they did in the end. So I'm telling you, man, I absorbed this movie.
You definitely, y'all definitely did, man. It's wild. Again, just the brilliance of DeVal Ellis. So we ran out there, we shot. So that scene, so it's bookend. For anybody who hasn't seen it, you can, spoiler alert, whatever. So in the movie, it's bookended, but it really was supposed to be an opening scene. My boy Vitus, he lives in Vienna, Austria, and he saw the film and he was just like, I want to know who Sean is. I need to get more of him than I get in the film. Like, even if there was something in the intro or something like that. And I was like, then we talked about it, and then Sasa and him, I was like, oh, maybe he's reading the book. And so when I went out there to shoot it with DeVal, it was supposed to be light, kind of leading into the thing. And it's just like, in a meta sense, it was him talking to himself, right? Like when you're at the pearly gates or whatever it is, right? And he got so emotional, and I'll pat myself on the back for this, because I was just like, let's let him, again, like when you're directing, like sometimes, dude, like the best thing to do is just get the fuck out of the way. Right? And it was just like, he has this impulse that honestly, 100% I did not have. And he was like, I don't know why this keeps doing this to me. So after a while, I was like, all right, we leaned into that, and I was like, okay, can you just give me one clean DeVal? Just so that I have it. And then when I went back and looked at it, I put the cleaner one in the beginning because it made more sense for the beginning, but I kept getting pulled to the other one when he's getting emotional. And you can't start a movie off with somebody being that emotional. You need to give people a minute to kind of settle in. They don't even know this dude yet. And then it hit me. I was like, yo, what if I just bookend it? And I was like, oh, what if the answer comes to your point? I mean, spot on. What if it comes at the end? He's like, and now there's a full arc there. And now the audience is with him. And now they know like what he's gone to. And maybe he's realizing in this moment where he is. So I really thank y'all for that. Because like
some movies are just like a peanut butter sandwich. Your movie was peanut butter and jelly. Okay.
Appreciate
But
that.
yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed the movie. And of course, Tiffany told me that we would enjoy talking to you. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
he's very lively, and
And I told he's pretty cool. I was like, you don't love Eden.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
yeah, you
Yeah.
put your foot in it, man. And if you were a chef, well, well served.
Oh
You'll be
man,
well served, man.
thank you. And it's also just really quickly again to all the independent filmmakers. Like I got a rejection letter today, from a festival,
Mhm.
and
Which festival?
I,
Look,
I,
look, look, look,
I
make
ain't
sure
gonna
you
put them
can't
on
say.
blast.
Put him on
I ain't gonna put them
blast.
on blast. But like it's that thing, right? It's like you said, like resilience. It's just like
Mhm.
the idea of like when I get feedback from you, Tiffany, and you, Ronald, and like at the end of the day, everybody's been asking me like, what about distribution? And we had like
That's my next question.
two bottom feeder deals or whatever. But like, I don't care. Like honestly, like I'm like, you either get the power from the institution or the people, and I'm completely want to get the power from the people. I'm like, yo, I want people that I know, people that know the experience of these people. Um, and it's not even a race thing, right? It's just like we're all humans.
Mhm.
We're all At least in America, we're Americans. We've all gone through versions of this, and it's just like I care about people. And my brother was the world ambassador of dreams for me, and I just want to be even a little bit for other people of what he was for me. I say this every time. Like my brother was he will only he would be ready to get physical when I was fighting for my limitations.
Wow.
Hmm.
And so like if I was like, nah, Shy, you don't understand how the game goes, like the busy, like, yo, so I don't care. Like, yo, do you know who you are? I know
Right.
who and I miss that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, hopefully this movie is just like a big piece of him. And he's made everything, again, to make a film for $20,000, to be at ABFF and Martha's Vineyard and like
Mm-hmm.
to do all these things. Like, I really got nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? Like,
That right there, and you really brought it home because one of my questions was talking to other independent filmmakers and uh, how as they aspire to become or to make a movie that people can really gravitate to.
mm,
To ask what were some of your thoughts and some of the things that you could suggest to them. And actually, you pretty much nailed everything.
and it's not over when the movie's over.
Yeah.
It's just beginning.
Yeah.
Jerry Lamoth taught me that when the movie's over, it's the ride is just beginning,
We
and
need to write that down because
yeah, because this is like you think like, and that's the issue too with like the distribution and stuff. It's just like once you finish the movie, you're like, yo, please, can somebody take this from me? This was very, very hard, right? And you're just like, can somebody save me? And it's just like nobody's coming, and that's cool. I mean, you have your people that surround, like you have your loved ones around you and whatnot. But like in terms of like now this leg, like I've realized like, oh, dude, if you really planning to, because we're gonna go on like a 25 city tour. Yeah,
Oh,
January, early February. Yeah, so and the idea is like separate from any distributor or anything like that. Because my goal
mhm.
is some ways to do what like Tyler Perry did or Kevin Hart did. It's just like
Yeah. Yeah.
meet the audience and
Wow.
touch people again, like old school, like the essence of what the Chitlin circuit was
Yeah.
when James Brown and all those cats were doing music or the old school kind of like film the old school film tour format. But
Mhm.
like my dad's always telling me like in 1963, Lucille Ball and
Yeah.
Bob Hope showed up to the theater on Bedford Avenue in Brooklyn. It's just like that kind of energy. And in order to do something like that, it's gonna take way more energy than it took to make the movie. It is
Mm.
what it is. But if you know it, at least you know it.
No, and I think that's awesome though. That's awesome.
move into your manifestation, my brother, because that's exactly where you should be.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that the film is getting the love that it's getting too, because it's a good film. I showed it to family,
Oh,
and
that's
they were
awesome.
and they said they liked it because they said I've been starving for some black entertainment and things, and they thought it was really well done.
Oh, amazing. Tell them thank you for me and give them a hug and a kiss. Seriously. And the other, that's beautifully said. And just piggybacking on it, like anybody who's out there that's listening to this that really wants to make something, just try to make something really bad. Like, because then all perfection is not real. It comes from the Latin perfectus, which means complete. It does not mean without flaw. So nothing's perfect. If you try to make something bad, you will do it because you're not worried about making a classic film. You'll push through. And then halfway through, you'll start to care about the movie. Right? So it's just like really, my other film, Bruce, that I made, it's just like, just really, a sculptor needs clay. And a lot of times people don't understand that the clay with screenwriting or making a film are the actual pages.
Mm-hmm.
So if you write a 160 page bad script, like that's the clay. But you and then you get to start chipping away at it. Then you allow the editor to come in. A lot of times you're writing something and then the editor like knocks on the door and it's just like, that doesn't work. Change that, move that around. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here until I'm ready for you. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's just like, so you throw everything on the page. You try your best to make it as bad as you possibly can. And then you let the editor in. But then you're starting to move. You're starting to make something as opposed to it just being in your head. And, you just being amongst the trillions and trillions of ideas that just like died in the graveyard.
Ecology of greatness.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Well, um, are you going to put out like a list of cities that you're going to visit and stuff? Because I definitely want us to support and come out to
I
some of
would
these.
I would love to. I also would like I don't know where both of y'all live, but I would love to bring it to where y'all are at and then we
Oh, we're
could.
in the DC area.
Oh, y'all
This
in
is
DC?
yeah, we're in Northeast. Yeah, we're in the Northeast quarter.
Oh, definitely. That's definitely one.
Are you still in New York? Do
I
you?
moved to Pennsylvania last year, but yeah, I'm in New York a
Oh,
couple times a
okay,
year.
okay.
And
I'm
Jay
originally
Bear,
from Philly, so
yeah. Oh, okay. You ever notice like those energies like Brooklyn, Philly,
and
Baltimore?
that's why you saw me do that
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
grew up going back and forth to New
yeah.
York and everything. I went to grad school, Syracuse, and so
Dope.
residency in New York. So
Yeah,
I, since a
that's
child, I've
awesome.
always been going to New York.
That's awesome. And Jay Bear Early, um, who plays Coop,
Mhm.
who's the who they
They're trying to trying
yeah,
to see.
he's from DC.
I
Uh-huh.
remember him. That's I'm born and raised, man. Born
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
and raised.
born and raised. Yeah.
I was
Oh,
thinking
amazing. So he is too. So we definitely want to bring it out there to y'all, and it's something we could talk
For
about.
sure, for sure.
Make it an event, man.
man, let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get it.
Look, broadcast from there and stuff. And
Yeah.
I have a
you're talking about
studio.
bringing it to theaters,
I have a
movie
studio. So if you do decide to come out, you can come to the studio. We can be
Um.
there, man. So
Oh, that's dope. Yeah.
let's
Let's do it. And let me write. I'm just gonna make sure I've gotten to that. Yep. Because yeah, this is the only way it's gonna work. This is the only way it's gonna get out to people.
hmm
And yeah, so that's the plan. And yeah, I'm just really great. I'm really grateful for y'all taking the time out of your life to watch it. And yeah, oh, the last thing I'll say, I guess ABFF is doing this ABFF tour
Uh-huh.
where they go to
I
like
did see that.
4 cities. So
Yep.
the first city, the inaugural cities on the tour is New York.
hmm
And so Can You Stand the Rain will be a part of that. So it'll be screening October 25th and 26th. And then September 26th, we're going to be screening it with the closing film at the Greater Cleveland
hmm
Urban Film Festival. And then the Gary International Black and also Twin Cities, but I don't know when it screens on those days. So Yeah.
That'd be awesome. You know, I know you're gonna do the 25 city tour, but I feel like distribution is gonna come your way anyway, and
Yeah.
it may be a situation it'd be too good to pass up. I
I'm
know you want to
open.
keep it grassroots, but
I'm open.
okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. I appreciate it. I appreciate that counsel. Yeah,
Mm,
I'm open. I just, I want to. By the time we get to LA, I want the film to be IP. I want it to have, whatever is millions of,
yep,
views of the trailer, all this stuff, so that
yep,
when I get there, then yeah, like I just want to make stuff, and I don't want people telling me what I need to make.
Absolutely.
right,
There's only
right.
a few people. Tyler's one of those people. Nobody could tell him what he's gonna make, right? Kevin, like these are the kids. So it's just like I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Eden, it's been a pleasure having you, man.
Same here.
Mm-hmm.
I have to give Tiffany. If you ever watch our show, it's point counterpoint with me and Tiff. We always
We
we
Ron is like my brother, so
but she I have to give her credit. She was spot on. Yes, I'm saying Tiff,
because I told him that he would enjoy the film. I told him that he would enjoy the commentary with you because I was like, Eden is really cool, good energy and stuff. So I told him.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. So and oh man, what was your homegirl's name that I was talking to before you came in at the screening? Because you
We were
had
talking to Rose because Rose was the one that brought me over.
Rose, and then
He's a
your other,
director. And
yes,
LaWanda.
Lawanda was eating something that smelled really good, and then she was like, it doesn't taste as good as it smells.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah. Please send them my love and tell Rose I said what's up.
Yeah, most definitely. Because they loved the film too.
Oh, amazing.
They did. They loved the film too. So I did actually tell LaWanda that we were gonna interview you, and she was excited about that.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, please. Yeah, send my love, man.
It's been a pleasure. I won't say good luck. I'll say win.
Let's go.
Yeah, he's gonna win, and we're gonna continue to support you. And we'll come out to some of the shows too, and everything. And definitely, especially if you come to the DC area, for sure.
We're definitely gonna come.
Sure.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Pleasure, man. Gotta go. We got much love here. Much love.
Same. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Take care. I'll be in touch.
All right, y'all.
Bye.
All right.